What's up, Infected? Welcome to Kickstart Your Week. Now, if you don't know what Kickstart Your Week is, this is a weekly segment that I put out that covers recent Kickstarters that just came out that I thought looked really interesting in the gaming community. Now, with so many games that come out in so little time, I can only really cover so many games, so I generally try to stop at no more than 10. And they're the ones that generally caught my eye just scrolling through the new games. I kind of quickly glance over them, see if they look really neat, and maybe watch the video, but that's pretty much where it ends. So it's just a quick little thing that covering games that I thought maybe you should take a look at. Now, in no particular order, first up we have Project X Pluto Type. Now, Project X Pluto Type is a worker placement game with dice. And if you know me, you know I love space-themed games, and this definitely has it. It might wind up being very fiddly, however, looking at some of the components and kind of the overview of how it's played. It might wind up being incredibly fiddly, but it also looks like a really interesting dice worker placement game. So I thought that looked really neat. Next up is Big Bang 13.7. Now this one is a tile placement map building game similar to something like Carcassonne. But you're trying to match certain patterns and certain planets or anomalies or even backgrounds, trying to match an objective or objectives that you've gotten throughout the game. And it looks really cool. It's a space-themed game. The Big Bang 13.7 is 13.7 billion years ago is when it's estimated the Big Bang happened, stuff like that. It looks really cool, very simplistic, very minimalistic art, and it looks like it'll be a very cool family weight game. Next up is Nebulous. Now, Nebulous looks like a really cool space exploration game, which is my favorite part of most space games, is the exploration aspect. And this one looks really, really cool. However, it also looks incredibly random. Like, one person could get all of the luck and the other person's stuck trying to get all the way across the stars to try to find the good stuff. And so it looks like it could be incredibly random, which is probably one of the things that's going to pull the game down. But overall, it actually looks like it has some really cool potential. Next up is Legal Cannabis. This game is a game, of course, about using legal cannabis to produce, of course, marijuana, and then there's to produce rope and different commodities, and you're trying to use farm plots to it's a strategy game where you use these farm plots and try to grow and harvest it. And have you ever played a game? Have you ever played a game on weed? Next up is Love Formula. Now, I did do a review for this game, and the game is a really fun little set collecting game with really nice anime artwork from Japanime Games. And normally, 9 times out of 10, I'm a big fan of what Japanime Games brings out. The company's really cool, their games are really nice. This one's definitely worth looking at. Next on the list is the Stonebound Saga. Now, the Stonebound Saga, first and foremost, has some incredible looking artwork to it. It's like a card-based tactics style game where you have a grid and you're going to play, I guess, cards down around, I don't know, summoners or maybe on your side of the field or whatever, and they all have stats and you're moving these cards around in order to attack each other and stuff like that. It looks like it comes with a bunch of different characters that I guess give you different powers, so that it makes the game asymmetrical, which is also really cool. Next up is Coin and Crown. Coin and Crown is an empire building game with a really cool coin drawing mechanic. So in order to determine how much money you're going to get that round, you're going to reach into a bag and pull money out. And you're going to use that to kind of build and buy your way into victory. And what I can only assume is throughout the course of the game, you're going to be adding more coins to that bag depending on how you play. So you can kind of stack the odds in your favor, what you're going to pull out of that bag to be able to use, but there's still that element of luck, and you could get screwed over by not having as much money as you need. And I thought that was a really cool mechanic. Then we have A Place in the Sun. Now, I did a review for this game. It is an incredible, galactic war-style card game with these really cool dials. and they combine really well, and the 4 different races are very asymmetrical, and it's a blast to play. I played it. If you haven't seen the review, spoilers, everybody who played it thoroughly enjoyed it. It's fairly simple to grasp. And it's just a really fun game. Next up we have Magic of Legends. Now Magic of Legends is a co-op adventure that gives me a Mage Knight style vibe, which I thought was really cool. It's got some really good artwork, and the minis are really nice, much better than Mage Knight, and the components in general just look really cool. And I'm a big fan of Mage Knight, so if this game basically takes what's great about the solo version of Mage Knight anyways, and kind of hammering out the flaws that game had, and don't make it take 16,000 hours with multiple players, this could really shape up to be a cool game. And last up is Stone Days. Now, Stone Days is a simultaneous action selection game where you have a board and you're rivaling like caveman tribes that are trying to like throw these stones at each other and try to kill each other. And I didn't really follow much of the storyline, but it looks really interesting where it's simultaneous action selection. So you're trying to predict what your opponent's going to do and kind of outthink them and make them fall into your trap. And so it's really interesting with these like weird ranged attacks that actually stay on the board and stuff like that. It looks like a cute little, cute family weight, fast little game that I thought looked really fun. And that is my 10 games for this week. I thought they all looked really cool. If I didn't mention your game, I apologize. These are just the ones that caught my eye right out of the gates. Anyways, if you like this series and you like this show and channel, definitely check me out on Patreon up here in the corner and down in the description. If you'd like to help support the show just with a one-time donation rather than like a monthly thing, I also have a tip jar down in the description as well. Any little bit helps, and I definitely appreciate it. Anyways, I will see you guys next time in the quarantine.